would have known 20 years ago that the computer, or a personal computer, would be part of everyday life? I know I wouldn't have. Would you? A computer is defined as, from dictionary.com, as an electronic device that allows input of data, creates mathematical equations, and displays that data. There are many computers nowadays, desktops, laptops, and even your phones can act as computers. In 2009, the Census Bureau had created a report stating that 68.9% of all families either had a computer or had computer and internet. As a tech support agent, my job consists of working on computers every day. It also means that I have to know every single solitary part of a computer. Computer does have three main components. You have your monitor, your CPU, and any I/O devices or input-output devices. First, let's start with monitors. Every computer has a monitor, including a laptop or a desktop, depending on if it's internal or external. Your external monitors are your CRT, your LCD, and your LED. I'm going to go ahead and talk about all three. CRT stands for cathode ray tube. It's kind of like the old TVs. It has the tubes inside that allows you to have your pictures. They're very old, very clunky, very heavy. They take up a lot of space. Now your LCD were first comprised in 1999 on laptops, but since now have moved to desktops. They're flat panels. They allow for higher resolution, and they take up a lot less space. And finally, you have your LED monitors. These are the newest and the big boys of technology. These come on your new laptops. They come on iMacs. They have the highest resolution, and they're also the most expensive. Let me give you an example. Went to Best Buy last week and was looking at a bunch of iMacs, and the quality from the LED to the LCD was totally different. You had dullness, whereas the LED was 1080p quality, just like your TVs would. Now let's talk about the CPU. CPU has two main components. It's going to have your motherboard and your central housing unit. Your central housing unit, your motherboard, I'm sorry. Your motherboard is your main board. It holds your processor, your memory, any disk drives you have, your power supply, as well as your memory. First thing we're going to talk about is the processor. In your processor, which is here, your processor is going to be it allows for, it's your brain of your computer. It allows for any instructions to be passed through the processor, go through the computer, go through the processor. Your memory. Memory allows for your programs to not lock up, for you to allow for your computer to run more smoothly. Your disk drives. You have two types of disk drives. You have your hard drives, and then you have any like a DVD or a CD drive. Your hard drive allows for you to have, it allows for you to store files and save all your files, whereas your DVD drives allow for you to burn media, transfer files from one computer to another, photos, things like that. And then of course your housing unit. Your housing unit you have two types. You have your tower, which is for main computers, and then you also have an all-in-one, which is now where it's just a monitor and it has everything built into the monitor. The iMacs are really big for that now. And finally, let's talk about our I/O devices. I/O devices stands for input-output devices. I/O devices, your input devices will include a game controller, a keyboard and mouse, anything that you have to input the information into the computer to receive an output. Now your output devices can be your speakers, a printer, even your monitor. What it does is anything that you input to the computer, it is going to give back an output. That will be your output device. So, from what we have learned is there's three main components of a computer. You have your monitors, you have your CPU or central processing unit, and you have your input-output devices. So if you do have a problem, don't panic, don't start pulling out cords, just think of what it might be. You may have a problem with one of these devices that's actually causing your computer to possibly lock up or to not be able to move. Computer sales continue to rise per the New York Times, even with tight budgets. The New York Times does state that many people are still moving to buying laptops. So in the future, the more you know, the better you off.